Hello my DIY friends. Today I'm going to be making fake leather, fox leather, for either a book cover or pieces that I can use in my junk journal. So we're going to get started. You need a paper bag. Any paper, brown paper, better. And what I did was I crinkled it up, same paper bag, didn't cut it or anything, and I folded it up and then I put it in the sink to wet it. You can use water bottle, whatever you want, but you want, oops, it came apart. Okay, that's fine because I'm going to use this in my junk journal. And I'm only going to use pieces anyway, so let me just tear that apart a little bit. You can cut it, but it gets pretty flimsy when it's wet. So what you want to do is keep crinkling it up. The more crinkles, the better. So that's what I am going to do. And you can continue to wet it. I just wanted to make sure I had it wet so you didn't have to watch that process, but you definitely want to crinkle it up and get more and more of the wrinkles in your paper. Okay? Now for the next step, you want to take cream rinse. Any kind of cream rinse is fine. The cheaper the better. And you want to put it on your hands and smooth it on your paper. So first you're going to use water on your paper. You're going to continue to crinkle it up, and then you're going to use conditioner, which will help soften your paper. So you just keep smearing your cream rinse around on your paper. You want to do the front and the back with cream rinse. And continue to wrinkle it up. So once that's done, you're going to have to wait till it dries. But as you see, I continue to crinkle it up to give it more texture. So it's a very easy process. You're trying to make paper look like leather. And you just keep putting cream rinse on it, crinkling it up, put the cream rinse on the front and the back, and then you're going to want it to dry. So that's going to take a little bit, but, and say, like right here, hold on, I don't have a lot of water there. I am just going to smear some cream rinse on it and continue to crinkle it up. Now I'm going to put this outside to dry, but so basically you're just taking a brown paper and you wet it and you crinkle it and you put cream rinse on it to help it soften up. And I believe, I'm going to let these dry, but I believe I have other pieces of paper bag that I already worked on. So let me get that. So here's a piece that has already dried. And I've already put cream rinse on this and let it dry. It's torn in a couple places, but that's okay because I'm going to use it in like strips of it in my junk journal. So I had bought distressed ink from Amazon. I got Black Soot, Vintage Photo, Walnut Stain, and Antique Linen. So I'm going to start with the Antique Linen. And I have one of these dabbers. I'm going to put that in some water. So I just dabbed it in some water. I'm going to take the lightest color, which is the antique linen, and I'm going to dab on my ink pad, and now I'm going to dab it around on my fake leather. You can use the pad, but it seems to me when I use the ink pad that it leaves marks like the square of the ink pad. So I started with the lightest color, and I dabbed all over. Now I'm going to go for the next darkest color. So let me open these and see. Okay, so the next lightest color is Vintage Photo. So I keep dabbing my dabber into the water, and it helps stick to my pad. So you just want to keep dabbing it on your paper. Give it some more water. And when I put water on here, it helps make it darker. It come off the ink pad. Or not the ink pad, my little dabber. So you're just going to randomly put the colors all over. So now I'm going to the next color, which is Vintage Stain. Making it darker and smearing it on, dabbing it, whatever you think is the best. Now you can also crinkle this up, but it's gonna, usually it marks your hands, but it's up to you, because I want more creases in my paper, on my paper. So just want, leather isn't all the same color, so you want to continually make the marks that you want on your paper. And I'm going to pick it up and bring it closer to the camera so you can see. It's giving it different color and texture all on the paper. Now I'm going to crinkle it up again. Now I'm going to use the black, but I don't want a whole bunch of black, because I want to be able to continue to see the marks I've already made. So here it is, and there's some spots that don't have a lot of color. So I'm going to dab the black onto the page here, onto my paper. So it has a lot of different colors, and you're going to need to wait for this to dry, because right now it's wet. But I'm going to continue to crinkle it up because I want to have more creases in my leather. So I'm going to crinkle this up, and then I'm going to take it outside and make sure it dries, and then I will be back for the final step. I want to show you a better way to apply the ink. So here is my paper. You scrunch it up, but you want the part you want inked on the outside, and you would like it scrunched up like that. Then you take your ink and dab it on. It'll get in the nooks and crannies, So you scrunch it up, you put some ink on it, and it starts to look more and more like leather. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So let me move all this out of the way. You're going to need a paintbrush and Mod Podge, and I have gloss Mod Podge, and here is a different page or paper. Here it is. And what you need to do now is you're going to take the Mod Podge. It could be gloss or matte. It's entirely up to you. And open your container. And start painting the Mod Podge on your paper. And then, of course, this is going to have to dry. So this will seal in the ink, but when it dries, it doesn't really get on your hands when it's dry, but this will protect your paper. So I'm going to continue to do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So you would like to put a good coat on. You could do both sides, you don't have to. I think I'm only going to do the one side. I don't believe I need to do the inside, because you're not going to see, even if I tear this into strips to make it look like leather pieces for my junk journal, you're not going to really see the other side at all. It's going to be taped down. So I'm going to continue this, and when it's dry, I will come back and show you what it looks like. Okay? Here is the end result with the gloss Mod Podge. Looks like faux leather. So you could use this if you have a child. You can make a pirate map with this, out of this. You could, because the ends are a little frayed, you could use just pieces of it for your art projects, or you could use it to cover a book. So I have a book, and I'm going to show you what it'll look like covered. Which I might end up using this on my junk journal. So I don't want to mess up the bottom, because I like how it's got like the torn edges and all. But I just wanted to show you that you could use it as a cover of a book. I am not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this. I think it's very, very sharp. I like it. I like how the ends are a little frayed, and there's some rips, but easy, very easy way to make some faux leather. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye.